Well, good evening. Okay, so some of you graduated this week, huh? Last week? Who graduated? 1, 2, 3. Cool. And now you guys have to pass a test or something? Cool. So your first intelligence test after school, huh? Most people pass it. At least the second time, anyway. Okay, old business. You guys should be reading in the web that has no weaver, yes? And I'm giving you outlines. What outlines have you been saddled with so far?
3, 6, 7.
2, 3, 6, and 7? Oh man, I'm a slave driver. How are we doing? You guys know you're supposed to hand those in, right? You didn't know?
I got it printed.
Excuse me?
I have to print mine.
Well, at least your dog didn't eat it.
It's in my.
Of course it is. Of course it is. I just want to be clear that you guys know those are hand-in assignments. And what's the purpose of the assignment? I could have assigned you to read the chapters like 3 or 4 times over and over and over, right? What's the purpose of the assignment?
I think when you write it, you retain better. And to summarize the chapter.
It'll also let you know what we pay attention to, what we think it means, or what we think it's saying in the book. The big points that we gathered. And then you could enlighten us if we missed anything.
I'm not going to enlighten you, she is.
All right.
My assignments are written assignments because I want language. I want you to be able to language this information. If you can't language the information, you can't think about the information. If you can't think about the information, you can't come to conclusions. The interesting thing about this is this is the second edition. I have the first edition over there in my bag.
Oh, sure.
And let's see. I think I started reading it somewhere around 85. And I read it before I went to school to study Oriental medicine. I'm one of those type of people, you know. I'm one of those people. I gather all the information I can possibly learn about what I'm going to learn. Right? So I got it before Oriental medicine, read it, and understood very little. Understood very little on my first read. By the time I got to my second and third read, I was in school. And one of my favorite instructors, he was an instructor. He taught the first, second, and third level of Oriental medicine, and he languaged this stuff. I mean, I was like a kid in a candy store, right? He just language and bring out all kinds of things. And someplace along the way, I was amazed because I did not know that there was a book on human health. This is a book on human health. When you understand this information, you understand the majority of the maladies that can happen to a person and what it takes to resolve those maladies. So you'll find that let's say you have damp heat in the spleen. Damp heat in the spleen. So the idea there is going to be to clear the heat, dry the damp. Okay? You guys did chapter 7, right? Clear the heat, dry the damp. Now that's that would be the protocol for treating damp heat in the spleen. Clear the heat, dry the damp. In acupuncture, you're going to have particular protocols for clearing heat and drying damp. In herbs, you're going to have particular protocols for clearing heat and drying damp. In Tuina, you're going to have particular protocols for clearing heat, drying damp. In Qigong, you're going to have particular protocols for clearing heat, drying damp. Okay? So all your modalities will address the syndrome. Interestingly enough, if you know all those modalities and know how to use them, you can use any one of them or any combination of them. However, you usually use the modality that the client believes in. Right? One of the things that I was taught to ask the client was, so, what do you feel is going to work best for you? What do you feel is going to work best for you? And the client says something like, I know there's herbs that will help me. Right? You're right. There are herbs that will help you. Right? So you put together an herbal formula for them. Right? Or the client might say, I came in for acupuncture because I heard about acupuncture, right? I came in for acupressure Tuina because I heard about acupressure Tuina. Oh, I heard about Qigong. Whichever modality the client has an affinity for, that will be the best one to use. Why? They believe in it, yes, and they want it.
I think it's kind of what you alluded to us a couple months ago. You said that the mind and body will heal itself. You just create the atmosphere to allow that.
Okay, yes, yes. In a metaphorical way, the mind already knows what it needs to heal in a metaphorical way. What do I mean by that? So I'm doing a client interview. I asked the client, I said, okay, your disease, your disharmony. If your disease was a bush, right? What would it look like? She's laughing because she remembers when I used to do this, right? If it was a bush, what would it look like, right? And so now they have to take what they feel and perceive about their disease and sort of like draft it over into this imaginary idealitic situation that I'm asking them to conjure up. Okay. Now the thing about that is that every time I do it, the client can do it. Right. One client says, "Well, it looks like a shoddy old bush, very few leaves. It looks like it's just clinging to life." Right? A blueberry bush, just clinging to life. That's on a scale of 1 to 10. You know how you say, okay, the pain on a scale of 1 to 10, where's your pain? Oh, it's an 8. Okay. Well, I asked them to give me some type of metaphorical construct for their disease. And then I'll construct a treatment protocol for whatever. What was one of your damn heat in the spleen, right? So I would develop a treatment protocol for clearing the damp, drying the damp, clearing the heat. Dry the damp, clear the heat. So at the end of the protocol, I'll ask them again. So what does that bush look like now? Right? And usually they'll report, oh, it's doing better, it's flourishing, berries are growing on it, yada yada yada, right? I had a client say, aren't there some herbs that'll fix this? I said, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Right? So, forego Tuina, forego Qigong, forego this, forego, we're going right to herbs. And we're going to use herbs that do what?
Clear the heat, dry the damp.
Yep, we're going to use herbs that clear, heat, dry, damp. And if you go to your Materia Medica, your herb book, you're going to find all types of herbs that clear, heat, and dry, damp in different locations of the body, at different intensities, different levels, those types of things. And you can make your choices from there. So you have to know the language of disease. What you learn in this in this text is the language of disease. Not so that you can just language it, so that you can think about it, so that you can establish a conversation between you and your client with regards to their disease. Now, this is highly clinical, highly clinical. Basically, you don't sit at dinner or tea or coffee and discuss the malady. You're doing it in a focused setting. I'm laughing because I remember bad news. I was on a date and my date had rosacea, right? And I made the mistake of asking her, so what's that? So what's that? And we spent the evening talking about her rosacea, what would benefit it, et cetera, et cetera. Now, rosacea. What's rosacea? Okay. What's rosa? Yes. The rosacea is going to be an affliction of the skin that makes the skin turn red. Now, if the skin is turning red, is it a hot or a cold situation? So right there, it's a hot situation. And so you want to apply what? Something cool. Right? Okay, now that right there is how easy understanding healing really is. If it's cold, heat it up. If it's hot, cool it off. If it's damp, dry it. If it's dry, right? Moisturizing. That's how easy it is. And that's how easy all of your applications are going to be. It's just inverse propositioning. Inverse propositioning. So you're outlining these chapters so that you can speak on these chapters, right, with a little acumen. Now, I thought that, you can't get everything in a book like this. Not true. Not true. So I thought this can't be. The next Oriental medicine text I got was Giovanni's text on Oriental medicine, and it's one of those, tones, one of those things that you use for a doorstop, right? Well, I was teaching out of this thing and came to find out that everything in there was in here. He just made bigger graphs and charts. Right? More graphs and more charts, but the exact same information. And this was the first three levels of the Oriental medicine course in acupuncture school. So this is the language of Oriental medicine. Whatever modality you work with, you want to understand this language. Now, a lot of people don't do that. What a lot of people do is they take Western diagnoses and try to augment Oriental medicine treatment protocols on Western diagnoses. The problem with that is that no two diseases are the same. That's the problem. No two diseases are the same. And so you have to discern what's happening right here and right now. Mm-hmm. Now, we can address major symptoms. Fine. The problem with this approach is that we're not addressing the root cause of the disease. Now, you're going to hear that concept over and over and over again, right? 3 people have a cold, but it's not the same cold. They didn't get it for the same reasons. One person got their cold because they were in a damp environment. Another person got their cold because they were in a cold environment. Another person got their cold because they were in a hot environment. 3 different etiologies for the disease and 3 different reasons why they contracted the disease. Your pernicious influences, your external pernicious influences, are basically what we call opportunistic. They are going to assail and assault any weaknesses that you have in your system. So, different people are going to have different weaknesses. So you can't prescribe the same disease to each person. Oh, that we could. Okay? It's like they were looking for a cure. They were looking for a cure to cancer, right? What happened? They found out that there were 1,000 different cancers. There's 1,000 different types of cancers happening here. And each one has a different etiology, has a different progression. And a different reason for the infliction in the first place. This person got cancer because their mother was mean to them. Okay, right? This person got cancer because they didn't have a dog when they were a kid. This person got cancer because we're going to find some psycho-emotional reason for the disease. Right? Cure the disease comes back. Why does the disease come back? Because we didn't resolve, we never got the person a dog. They want a dog. That's what they really want. They wanted a dog. Right? And nobody discerned this. Except maybe the counselor or the therapist who was talking to them, and they said, you know, I always wanted a dog when I was a kid. Right? So we apply mechanisms to cure the disease. The disease is cured, but now if we don't resolve the underlying reason for the disease comes back. It comes back. No, it comes back. Right? They give you a clear ticket on cancer these days, and what do they say? Give it 5 years. Give it 5 years. Right? They give you a clear ticket, but give it 5 years. Why do they say give it 5 years? Because, right, they're pros. They know. They know that, you know, within 5 years, this can come back. Not because we didn't cure the cancer, but we didn't cure the underlying reason why this particular body mind got this particular malady. I get a malady. People say, so how are you doing? I say, I'm okay. My body mind is talking to me. It's communicating with me. It's giving me information. It's telling me things. All right? What is it telling me? Oh, I might be eating too much carbohydrates. Too many carbohydrates, right? That's what it's telling me. Now, am I going to listen? Probably not. Carbohydrates, come on. Probably not. But at least I'm making choices. I'm making a choice. I can resolve this, sure. All I have to do is stop eating carbohydrates. Keto diet, anybody? Anybody know what the keto diet is? Let me see. Yeah, okay.
Fat and protein, right?
Huh?
It's fat and protein based. Is that what it's about?
Yeah. That's close enough. Protein based. So what don't you eat? Right? No. You guys are laughing now. What are carbs? Give me. What don't you eat? Huh? Wait. Okay. You don't eat rice. You don't eat mac. You don't eat mac and cheese. You don't eat spaghetti. You don't eat bread.
Cookies?
You don't eat cookies.
But ice cream, do you have ice cream?
You don't eat cookies. You don't eat cake. Right? Ice cream is just frozen sugar. No. Right. Fructose. Right? You don't eat fruit.
So what am I eating now?
That was what I said. That was what I said. I said, so okay. I mean, you know, it's like you know, you can poke your finger in the eye of the vegetarians, right? Because you're just eating meat, right? You're eating protein, meat, legumes, fish. That's meat, right? Fish, eggs, right? That's it. That's it. That's it. But I'll tell you this, if you want to lose weight, keto. The pounds drop off you. They melt off of you. Right? First 3 weeks of keto, you're going to lose 15 pounds. Easy. Easy. No, not easy. Not easy. You don't know how much carbs you eat until you try to eliminate it out of your diet.
I actually just had a client that came in and she was talking about how the whole food pyramid is a lie and everything, and how carbs.
The whole food pyramid is somebody's opinion. It's somebody's opinion, right? So try not to emotionally sensationalize your experiences. If you emotionally sensationalize your experiences, they're harder to get rid of. Whether it's a positive emotion or a negative emotion, right? They're hard to get rid of. And realize that when you give up one thing for something else, you know what we call that? We call it a sacrifice, right? We call it a sacrifice. Want to know what a sacrifice is? Sacralizing. To make something sacred, you sacrifice. With it, to it, for it, whatever. You can sacrifice it, you can sacrifice to it, you can, right? And then it becomes sacred. Now, why is that important? That's important because sacralization is, now this thing has become a religious item in your mind. And look at what the mind does with religion. So, the going mindset for healers is stoicism. Nothing is good, nothing is bad, it just is. Right? Person says, well, I have a ruptured spleen, right? And it's hard. It's hard because you want to say, oh, too bad. Right? Too bad. Person says, oh, I just healed myself from irritable bowels syndrome, right? And you want to say, oh, great, right? Don't go there. Because you will start to sacralize the disease. And one thing that a person does with disease is they use it as an identity marker. It becomes part of who they are. Oh, well, I have. That's like saying I am. So you want to know the appropriate way to think about diseases and their amelioration. I don't like to say cure because diseases are associated with circumstances. Create the circumstances for a disease, the disease will manifest. Right? Eliminate the circumstances for the disease will disappear. So what you want to understand are the circumstances of the situation itself. I would feel sorry for Western medicine, but they get paid way too much for my sympathy. They get paid way too much for my sympathy. But I would feel sorry for them because every time they come up with a new disease, it's not just one new disease that they've come up with. They've come up with this new disease, and every variation and every mutation and every permutation and every combination that can happen with this disease. And now they're trying to deal with this. So in Oriental medicine, we don't take a disease as such. We take the situation as it is right now. Do they have fever? Are they coughing? Right? Do they have pain? Where is it? What makes it better? What makes it worse? Those types of things. And you find out what's happening right now, in this moment, with this particular entity, with this particular individual. And you work with that. And don't try to label it. Right? In Western medicine, they have labels for everything. Everything. Tuberculosis. Oriental medicine will call it damp heat in the lungs. But from Western medicine, it had translated into 6 or 7 different types of tuberculosis. So it becomes, on one side, on this side of my mouth, I'm going to say, it doesn't matter what you call the disease, as long as you can resolve it. Doesn't matter what kind of fancy names and what kind of, right, how many syllables the name might have, as long as you can resolve it. So in Oriental medicine, we won't go around, labeling different types of diseases. We'll talk about the circumstances that the disease is being generated from. And you resolve those circumstances to resolve the disease. Now, that's nothing new. Western medicine is going to do the same thing. They're going to do the same. They're going to take the exact same approach. So what you're doing is you're learning to language the experience. Whatever the client is experiencing, you're putting into very simple language. Okay, so where are you guys at so far? I gave you chapter 2, fundamental substances. That's done, right? And ready to be handed in, yes? Okay. Chapter 3, organs of the body. Did I give you that? Harmonious landscape. Okay. What was the other one? And then we went down to 7. We went down to 7 because 7 shows you the 8 basic patterns of disease, which is very simple. I didn't give you 5?
No. 6. 2, 3, 6, and 7.
2, 3, 6, and 7. I gave you 6?
You said we needed to understand 2, 3, and 7 we needed to, before we could understand.
Yeah, I didn't think I would give you 6. And 8. Okay, so what I'm saying is you're gonna outline, those chapters. And you should spend time just sitting there, right, learning the language. Learning the language. Rebellious stomach chi. Rebellious stomach chi.
What's usually the circumstances for that?
Carbohydrates.
Too many or too little?
Carbohydrates is usually in excess, so it's too much.
Rebellious is usually too much too, right? In excess?
Oh. The patterns of chi. Somebody find the patterns of chi for me. Excuse me?
Chapter 7.
Chapter 7. Chi is a fundamental substance. How is that going to be in chapter 7?
Chapter 8 has 7 patterns of chi and yang.
Interior, exterior, deficiency, excess, cold.
Sorry.
8 is the patterns of the human landscape. Patterns of stagnant chi, patterns of deficient chi.
Just harmonies of chi, page 51.
Thank you.
Rebellious chi, page 52.
So, disharmonies of chi. You have deficient chi, collapsed chi, stagnant chi, and rebellious chi. And they're on a spectrum, they're on a continuum. Deficient chi will lead to collapsed chi. Stagnant chi will lead to rebellious chi. So, is rebellion an excess? Yes. Mhm. But you guys already got that out of that chapter, right? Right?
Yeah, I was just testing you.
Yeah. Well, it's not a test. It's just a conversation. We're just having a conversation back and forth so we can better understand things. So did I give you a definitive assignment here?
What we did, if you don't mind me saying that, what we did last week, we were going over the 12 principles of the universe. And we went over to 7, but stopped at 8. Does that make sense?
Okay. Have I given you a definitive assignment yet with regards to the web that has no weaver?
You've asked us to outline 2, 3, and 7.
2, 3, and 7.
And I think you just asked us to do 8 as well.
Hmm. 237. Good. You think I'm asking you to do 8? No. Not 8 alone. Let's go back and do 5 and 8. 5 and 8. I'm saving the 4 examinations for last. And I'm saving the meridians for its own breakout. We're going to do the meridians in association with what we're doing with regards to lesser heavenly circulation, the yin and the yang channels, the Du Mei, the Ren Mei. Then we're going to look at the 8 extra meridians. Then we're going to look at the 12. So we're not going to work with the meridians in this text. Reason being is that you guys have a lot of qigong, and you need to know how those meridians are being affected by your qigong practices. And Ted Kapchuk, he's a writer. He's the one who wrote this book. Ted wasn't big on qigong. He was big on herbs. Acupuncture, yes, but he's an herb guy. So, if you're hearing me correctly, what did I say with regards to definite assignment?
To outline chapter
5 and
8
yes.
on paper.
I'm sorry.
On paper.
Print it out.
Okay.
And Gretchen, I think I'm going to have you writing today.
Okay.
Okay, tell me what I said last week about the information that we were discussing.
We talked about the emptiness. We talked about
What did I call this information? Oh, I got lofty, did I? A little lofty, okay. Principles for what?
Profound manifestation.
Zozo, you still in there?
Okay.
What did I say?
Principles of creating profound manifestation. And we started with emptiness.
Okay.
We got seeing.
Melissa, what did I say last week?
What did you say last week?
Mhm.
Said a lot last week.
What did I call the topic?
You said, what I have is the principles of creating an environment where profound happen or manifest.
Okay.
And you listed,
I listed the 12 and delineated 1 through 8, right?
or 1 through 7.
1 through 7.
1 through 7.
He was gonna hold off. He was wanting more.
Okay, okay.
That's right. I remember that.
So, anybody have old people in their experience? I'm like one of those old people. That's because you're older than I am. You can say that. You can say that. You can say that. But old people experience is like, what did I say? what was that I said? Oh yeah, okay. Right.
I have those all the time, so
Give me.
don't worry.
And for me, it makes it more memorable. It makes it more memorable if I can go to the collective consciousness, and the collective consciousness said, "Oh, you said dot da dot da dot da dot da dot," and then I'm gonna say, "Yes, I did." But the collective consciousness had to remember. See, I don't have to remember. I already know. Okay, I already know, so I don't have to remember. Right? But you guys have to remember until you know. But that was a lofty title, profound. What?
You need a reminder.
Yeah, I do. It's sort of like people say these days. They say the Sifu practice is practice. Okay? The Sifu practice is practice. And those who know me, they say, I don't know what he does. Qi, Jing, and Shin. The beginning of your practice is building the Qi, cultivating the Jing. It seems to go backwards, but the Jing is the platform for the Qi. What are the characteristics? What are the characteristics of Jing? What are the characteristics of Jing? Everybody should have written this down, and should be able to say, "Oh, characteristics of Jing are dot 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 dot." What are the characteristics of Jing? No, nobody. No one.
It is I know that it comes before chi. It is the life force energy, I believe. It's the foundational energy, if I remember correctly. And then it will be transformed into chi. Somehow. I can't remember exactly how. Through the organs.
Danae, what do you have?
For Jane,
Mhm.
I've got a prenatal essence, postnatal essence, and it's the root of life. Yeah, both Chi and Jing have to do with movement.
Okay, Melissa, what do you have?
It's often thought of as fluid life, and it's the basis of organic life.
The basis of organic life. Mhm, mhm. The ground of creation is Jing. The best analogy we have for Jing is in the DNA, RNA area of science. Jing is also associated with the immune system, the kidneys, the bones. But I'm going backwards here because people say, does Shifu still practice his practice or do what he does or does what he do? Or what does Shifu do? Well, I do what they call Shin Gong. Shin. What's Shin? Yes. And Gong,
Study.
study of the work of. Right. So, practicing Shin Gong basically means I do what?
Work on the spirit.
Yes. Which means I do what?
You sleep.
Nice.
It means I don't do anything. No thing. I do no thing. And, it's like, it took me 20 years to get there, so don't just say, right? I do no thing. You do no thing, and everything is achieved, everything is accomplished. So you start to move into the Shin stage of life, where you don't have to do anything. You sit and you allow everything to be. Leanne says you sleep. I sleep. Well, that's a Western concept. From the Eastern point of view, I meditate. And what is meditation? Right, doing nothing. So, how can I say I'm an advanced practitioner when I'm doing all kinds of stuff? You need to think about that for a moment. Now, if it was the case that I was anxious, I was curious, I was concerned, I had unresolved issues, right? Then I would be doing a lot of stuff. But I'm not concerned. I don't have the unresolved issues. There's not anything I need to do. There's not anything I need to do. So, Shin Gong. I sit and I meditate hours on end. I also sleep. But sleeping is done with conscious breathing and consciously letting go of the troubles and the cares of the world. If I didn't do that, I couldn't be enigmatic. So all your teachers here, when I was doing things, I was concerned. And they developed their particular areas of specialty, medical qigong, Tuina, Thai massage, yada yada, herbs, right? Because I was hot on doing these things, very hot on doing these things. Well, I've done these things. I understand these things. So I can sit. I can sit and sit and sit some more. So someplace in the Tao Te Ching, they say, the wise man does nothing and everything gets done. It took me a long time to figure that out, right? How to do nothing and then everything gets done. It's okay. The majority of you guys are too young. Right? You still have a lot to do. There's a lot of doing in your future. When you start floating around 70 and you're still doing a lot, you didn't learn your lessons well. You didn't learn your lessons well. One, you have no idea how lucky you are to be somewhere around 70. That's, that is an amazing thing in and of itself. Warriors. We can do it with ladies. Women only carry one baby at a time, right? The result of sperm zygote, yes? Am I in the right place? Right? And only one made it. Out of how many aspirants? Right? How many were aspiring to make it? Right? Incalculable. You can't even count. So the one that makes it, what do we say? Lucky. Lucky. No rhyme, no reason, no whys, no wherefores. War. You have a group of men in war, right? Battle breaks out. 10 of them are dead. There were 20. 10 of them are dead. Why are the ones dead, dead, and why are the ones alive, alive? Yep. That's all. Just pure, dumb luck. There's no rhyme, there's no reason other than that. So, Just the idea that you exist is such a tremendous amount of luck that you can't even fathom it. You can't fathom it. And let's say you come up with something in your mind that you want to achieve. You know how many people come up with something in their mind that they want to achieve? And how many pull it off? And if you ask the ones that pulled it off, they say, you ask them, how did you pull that off? They can say, well, I went here and this happened. Then I went over here and that happened. I did this and that happened. And there it was. I'm trying to describe to you pure dumb luck. It was luck. Now, we don't want to hear that. We want to hear, I worked hard. I kept my nose to the grindstone. I pulled this off. I did things that other people weren't willing to do, and that was why it worked. Really? Was that really why it worked? Didn't it work because when you were driving 3 weeks ago, you didn't have an accident? Right? Didn't it work because when you were flying, your plane didn't go down? Didn't it work because when the shooter was in the supermarket, you happened to be home? That's what's real. Not, the shooter was in the supermarket. I knew it was going to happen. I didn't go. And I can pat myself on the back for making the appropriate decision for that point in time. Really? Now, I'm not going to get in the way of your striving and your aspirations. But what I will say is, all you can do is the best you can. And luck has it from there. Just pure luck. So we were looking at the principles for creating profound manifestations. Emptiness, alignment, asking, maximizing, giving, grounding, and seeing. The eighth principle is called gratitude. Gratitude. Another word for gratitude is appreciation. When we appreciate something, what do we do? Who said that? What did you say, Gretchen?
Give it attention.
Okay.
Well, gratitude comes from appreciation. Gratitude very often comes from appreciation. You appreciate something, and I express gratitude.
You're grateful for it. You couldn't be grateful for it and then express appreciation?
Well, you could be grateful for it and what did you say? You could be grateful for it and not express the appreciation.
No, I didn't have a nod in there. Gratitude and appreciation. One of the 8 stages of chi is to appreciate. You have to appreciate the chi. When you appreciate the chi, what does that do? Sarah, from you back there?
Yeah, raises the chi up.
Raises the chi up, okay? Elevates the chi. So, where I'm at is the idea of expressing your gratitude and your appreciation in words. In words. When we express our gratitude and appreciation in words, we call it a eulogy. A eulogy. Like eugenics, only the good genes. I'm not going there. No, I'm not going there. Right? A eulogy is to express in good words. Good words. It's not enough to be grateful. It's not enough to have appreciation, but you have to put vibration to it. You have to give it words. Words. And this is where a lot of people fall down. They'll say, oh, yeah, I'm really grateful for that. Well, then why don't you say so? I really appreciate that. Why don't you say so? I take it a step farther. What do I say, Leanne? You remember? Some people say thanks.
Oh, some people give cash.
Right? If you appreciate it, some people give thanks, some people give cash, right? You appreciate. Express your feelings of gratitude in words. Make frequent positive comments about your health, your friends, your job, your home, your country, your life, and everything else you have been given. Don't wait for things to be grateful for. Actively search for things to be grateful for. The way to find things to be grateful for is to use childlike wonder and amazement. Childlike wonder and amazement. When things are good, say good things. When things are bad, say twice as many good things. When things are good, say so. When things are bad, don't say so. Why? Remember we were talking about the disease and naming them, and right? So you don't say so you don't cling and hold on to that state. Gratitude. Eulogize. Now, if you ever been to a funeral, you know what a eulogy is, right? It's that thing that makes you wonder. He wasn't all that. Wait. I knew him. Who are you? I knew him. Right? But then, what does your grandma tell you? If you don't have nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. Yeah. Mhm. Isn't that hard? Isn't that hard? But we start to wonder why our minds become bogged down. They don't soar. They're not full of wonder and amazement. Because we don't know how to shut up. We don't know what not to say. And why we're not saying it. Why don't we say it? Because words bring things into manifestation. If you have a habit that you want to get rid of, tell your friends. Tell your friends. Tell the people around you that you want to get rid of this habit and watch what happens. Yeah, yes, they will, won't they? If you don't want to get rid of the habit, don't tell them. Don't tell them. Because then you can enjoy the habit as much as you want and you won't get.
Well, it depends on the habit I expect.
Hmm?
It depends on the habit I expect. Some habits may still bring difference to it.
Some habit with what?
Some habits would still bring people to notice it, and they might decide to help you with it even if you don't bring it up.
That's rude.
That's
Intervention.
a fact.
That'd be called intervention, right? To intervene.
The best thing you can do for an intervention is walk out. Walk out once you smell it. If you smell it, get out of there. Did you ask? Did you ask, or are they imposing this upon you? Is it something that you want, or is it something that they're going to make you have? Oops. Do interventions work? Yes, they do work. Interventions do work. That's why I say if you smell it, get out of there.
I look at it as setting boundaries, letting that person know we have new boundaries for you, and then I'm out.
Covered.
Like, you want to continue down this abusive path, you're not going to see me or my kids anymore. When you get your act right, then we can talk. But until then, you keep doing this.
But that's the choice that you're making and the choice that they're making.
Right. It's like just letting them know, confirming based off of your behavior now, we can't be cool no more. Sorry, I'm out type of thing. Just letting them know that straight up. I'm just coming to you, letting you know so you don't have to assume or think we're still cool, or if you see me running the other way when you come, this is why. I'm just being honest upfront.
But that's not an intervention. That's making choices with your life.
But when I go to them, that's what I tell the person.
Mm-hmm.
Set your boundaries and just let them know.
So the thing about gratitude and eulogies is it's very difficult not to have a negative opinion when you have a negative opinion. You have a negative opinion, you see it, you feel it, you're thinking it. What do you do with it?
Walk out.
Share it. That's what they,
Yeah.
Look deeper, I think there's something to be grateful for. When you have a negative opinion, there's something good in everything, so just look a little bit deeper maybe.
I go back to what my grandma said. If I don't have nothing good to say,
Don't say anything.
don't say it at all.
I had to deal with that a lot, working with some of the people I had to work with that kind of outranked me a lot. I could just feel it in my mouth. So I think a lot of negative things you want to say are somehow, way, shape, or form, where you might believe it or not, attached to an emotion. So if you stop for a second, you settle that emotion, you may have a different opinion about what you're about to say, you just word it differently.
What was that?
When they walk away, it's like, oh, he's just being smart.
What was that?
I said, and more wisely.
One of the best solutions I come up with was what Danae said. Look for the good. Look for the positive. If you think the positive isn't there, you haven't looked well enough. You have a person that touches you adversely from a feeling point of view, not from a creepy point of view. From a feeling point of view, they touch you adversely. Mind goes on fire, right? What I was taught to do was look for the positive. They may have touched me adversely, but they might have on a nice pair of shoes, you know? Nice shoes, dude. Right? Find something. Right? Find something that you can be appreciative of and grateful for. That's the work. That's the real work. And the more you practice it, the better you get at it. calling somebody a jerk, well, that's too easy. That's really, really, really too easy. Telling somebody that you like their tie changes everything. You like their tie, you like their sweater. I like your hairstyle. I like what you did with your. Oh, this old thing? Yeah, that old thing. Right. Because if you express the negative, you build a spirit. You build a spirit, a negative spirit. Right? Now, whenever this person lingers in your consciousness, in their consciousness, you linger in their consciousness, you linger in their consciousness, that negative is going to be floating around in there. Right? And as much as we would like to not understand this, what you want to understand is that life is based on goodwill. Goodwill. So you want to do things to foster goodwill. And reminding a person of their intractability usually doesn't foster goodwill. Moving on. Acting. Acting as if. Stop dreaming, stop visualizing, and start doing. And begin now. If you can't make yourself believe, then fake it. Fake it. Always act and talk as if you believe. The 10th condition is recycling. Engaging the cycle. Recycling was 12. Recycling was 12, yeah. Engaging the cycle. As energy begins to life, pass it on. Keep things moving. Receive the energy of others around you and pass it on quickly and efficiently. Constantly look for ways to send energy back around the circuit. When you receive, automatically look for ways to give something back. Be an excellent team player. Never drop the ball. Return your calls and answer your mail promptly. Pay your bills on time. Oh, God. Pay your bills on time. Growth occurs in cycles. Honor the ebb and flow. Don't panic when the tide goes out. The flow always returns. Never fight the current. Relax into the natural cycles of growth. Use any downtime constructively to prepare to receive when the flow returns. Receiving. Receive and let the energy and resources that flow into your life fill you with intense joy, pleasure, and gratitude. And last, recycling. Gather up the fragments. Don't throw anything away without asking, is there some way this can be reused? Recycle all the physical resources that pass through your life. Be reluctant to discard your possessions and tools as they age. Use everything to the maximum. Look for ways to repair and renew all your resources. Okay, so these 12 life principles will put you in a particular mindset. Mindset of possibility, mindset of achieving, mindset of doing. Okay, who's been here for all 12? Okay, what do you think? What do you think? Joseph?
Sounds like an excellent guideline for getting things done, really producing.
I don't quite understand engaging the cycle. I don't understand exactly how it's different from gratitude and receiving.
Well, some people say with regards to things, if you didn't work hard for it, you don't deserve it. Some people say with regards to things, don't pay attention to the small stuff, focus on the big items. Well, here, what we're saying is, what I like to say is, take what comes easy. Take what comes easy and accumulate what comes easy, because it will give you resources to deal with the things that are difficult if you take what comes easy. If you don't take what comes easy, then the things that are difficult, when they come along, you don't have adequate resources to deal with it. Always take what comes easy. Which is, a lot of your patriarchy will tell you, don't take what comes easy because it makes you lazy. It makes you lazy. Well, it can. It can make you lazy. Until you understand that some things are easy, some things are difficult. And they're both going to come. The easy is going to come, the difficult is going to come. You neglect the easy because, well, it was too easy. And now the difficult is here, and the difficult is taking a lot of resource. And you're going to say, well, I don't have the resource. Well, it was given to you easily. It was given to you easily, and you didn't take it. So now when you need it, you don't have it. And resources are sort of like guns and money, right? It's better to have it and don't need it than to need it and don't have it. Guns and money. I mean, some people, they eschew guns and money until they need it. Right? And then when they need it, either they want a gun or they want somebody who has one. Right? Or they want money or they want somebody who has it to, right? Only when they need it do they realize what's been going on. Now, it does seem as though a lot of these things are working together. And they are. Right? Receive what comes easily, but don't be neglectful. Be grateful. Right? Appreciate the small things. The most important aspect here, though, right in the beginning, is the ability to maintain emptiness. Because things that never were before, things that are not, will come to you in emptiness. Danae, what do you think of what you heard?
Okay. So looking at the whole, and what I have wrote down is how to manifest great and wonderful things.
Okay.
So I look at this as a whole, and I can think of every situation where I've been the opposite. not so giving, or, you know, I mean, we don't need details, but where I've been the opposite, ungrateful. And how heavy it makes you feel, how, and negative. And when you operate in this, it's like your yoke is easy and your burden is light. It's effortless. It's just effortless. To look at something good rather than to concentrate on something negative. At the end of the day, it's light and easy. And for me, that's help. Because all the negative and all the stress and all the opposite of all the, it wears on you. So that's what I'm thinking.
Dorothy?
I've actually applied some of these principles to some things that happened to me this week. And I just feel better and great for the experience and moving forward. It's like I find these principles, like, I need to integrate them into my community. Because it made what could have been a very bad day for me, it made it sunshine. Just based off of the 7 you gave me, I was able to use those tools. And I like that what you said about empty being the base, because when I emptied myself, it immediately took the emotion that the situation was making me feel. It immediately just went away, and I was able to look at the negative and turn it into a positive. And it scared some people. And I was smiling like, yeah.
Chris, what are you getting from this? Okay, thank you, kiddo.
I was arguing about finding something positive. Like they said, it is there. So why don't you see that? I still don't know what is meant by number 9, acting as if, and where it fits in with all. Like that one is the one that stands out to me. As opposed to seeing the yin and yang, and like bringing out the positive.
Acting as if we're going to the same place as faking it.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't believe, fake it. You act like it's so. Which I had a lot of trouble with. Personally. That's one of my personal banes, acting as if something is so when it obviously isn't so. But we're not going with the concrete obvious. We're going with what it is we want to manifest, which might not be obvious.
I am going to pass the envelopes. Yeah, I'm going to pass the envelopes.
I think you've already passed it. Now you just got to make it happen. You know, if things don't go the way you want them to go, life is not saying no. No. Because one of the things that I found in life is when you want something in life, it doesn't just sit that way. Life is going to ask you how badly do you want it and what you are willing to do. How badly do you want this and what are you willing to do? And you can say, well, I want it really badly. I'm willing to do X, Y, and Z. And life could look at you and say, that's not good enough. That's not enough. You can't take those things personally. You can't think that the world is against you or something or someone is against you, even if they are. You can't think that way. It's always a matter of what is it that you're willing to do now? What is it that you're willing to do now? I was teaching Tai Chi in Virginia, and I told people, I said, I want to study Oriental medicine. And I said it again, I want to study Oriental medicine. I want to study Oriental medicine. Now I'm in Virginia. There's no Oriental medicine schools in Virginia. We weren't at the time. And one of my senior associates said, why don't you just go do it?
Tired of hearing about it.
Yeah. I'm tired of hearing about why don't you just go do it, right? But I mean, she may have been tired of hearing me talk about it, or but it was the most novel thing I ever heard. Yeah, I could just go do it. Right? And I took the novel approach. So I just, sold all my stuff, packed up all my, packed up what I was going to pack up, threw it on my, and just hit the road. Trying to find a school of acupuncture or Oriental medicine that would have me. I started in Virginia, wound up in, I found a school in New Mexico, Albuquerque. But they wouldn't have me. They wouldn't have me. Did I stop? Oh, no. No. I traveled from Albuquerque, New Mexico to California, right? The mecca of alternative medicine. Oh, they had more schools in there. Oh man, I spent just one day after another, visiting different schools. Now, by this time, I had been on the road for about 9 months, almost a year, homeless. And I went in and I went to the school that appreciated me. And you had to appreciate me, right? I'm coming in, I'm dirty, I'm slobbing. All I have is a desire. No money, no job, no nothing, right? All I have is a desire. And her name was Megan. She was the administrator at Pacific College, right? And she happened to treat me very nicely. Very nicely. I was impressed.
All things considered.
Well, there is still me in here, I was impressed. And so I got all my ducks in a row, right? Came back and went to that acupuncture school. But all along the way, always acting as if it was going to work. Even when I was in a place where they wouldn't have me, I acted as if it was going to work and just kept on going. And it's interesting. It's interesting how people respond to you when you're dirty, you're slobbing, and you don't have any money. Right? You're sleeping in the flop. I don't think I was sleeping in the flop house. I think I was sleeping in the Salvation Army. Right? You just keep on going and going and going, and you act as if. Always. Right? But The people around me were the ones that motivated me and got me going. I mean, I could have sat there all years. Well, I'm going to go to Oriental medicine school. I'm going to go to acupuncture school. Right? Oh, tell us that story again, Warren. How are you going to go to Oriental medicine school and acupuncture school? Right? Why don't you just do it? Whoa, yeah, so, such a concept. Austin, what are you hearing in here?
I'm hearing that it works. Your manifestation principles, whether you take them all or you take a few of them, Dorothy, it works if you use them all the time or a little piece of them. You know, I feel like there is something for everybody.
Would you say people think you're weird?
Yeah, because I changed that negative to a positive or a compliment. And just made me smile more.
People used to think I was weird for a long time until they just realized I was a nice guy. He's just a nice guy. Which is weird. Which is weird when you consider what other people are doing. Oh, he's just a nice guy. Oh, really? We're going to test that. Is he really a nice guy? Zozer, what are you getting?
The seed thought that I am trying to manifest. I hope it's something that I really want, because once it gets I'm not sure.
Me too. I hope it's something you really want. Okay.
It seems these are just life principles we can use, but we shouldn't use, just act as if we already have these principles, because things will work right away. Basically, these seem kind of like the TCM, the patterns of differentiation. The person is missing a little bit of emptiness, we just focus on adding that emptiness to their life. Or if they don't have that belief in themselves, then just act as if they have the belief. Seems a way to work with that spiritual healing that is just a common part of being a good, well-rounded person. And then no good, no bad.
This should be on a postcard and just give it to people that are just filled with a bunch of negativity.
Leanne, what are you getting?
Unlike everybody else, I have an issue with a couple of them.
Okay. Michael.
You asked me. So I'm looking at them.
Oh, come on. You can't take a joke way. Good.
I'm looking at them and I'm thinking of the big, huge tree that was in my grandma's backyard when I was a kid. And I'm thinking about that tree and feeling that tree. And I'm looking through these 12 principles as I'm thinking about the tree. And some of them make sense from the tree's point of view, me perceiving. You know, like emptiness, alignment, maximizing, giving, grounding, engaging the cycle, receiving, recycle. Those all make sense to me from a nature and natural point of view. The tree just does that. It just is, and this is what it does. But the rest of them seem to me to be
The rest of what? You just enumerated 8 of them.
right. The other 4 seem to be more of a human condition thing, things that we had to put in there for us, not from like a tree's point of view, from a human point of view. So that's how I'm looking at it.
Okay, what do you come up with? What's the result of your differentiation there?
That the ones that the tree does naturally, that the tree just is and does, all of those make sense from a point of view of nature, of just being, The other four seem to be ones that we as people, as humans, had to create to tell us what we should do.
Okay. Michael, I didn't ask you because you weren't here last time, but have you gotten a handle on this?
Yes, sir. It's funny, with Dorothy saying you need to make a pamphlet on this, because I kind of wish I had this years ago, for the vice guys in the group, because I used to have a boss. He was saying, okay, I'm the only thing standing between you guys and your weekend. All I have to say is, you know, the vice guys, what is it? My dude, you may be different from yours. You're a hand of this, like, you want to know what it means to be a good dude? Here you go. And the one that stuck with me the most is gratitude, because it said to express, but then they use the word eulogize,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know if that's where it came from. They say, you know, make sure you give people their flowers while they're still here,
Mm-hmm.
which I think us as it's a human race we need to do a lot more of.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a simple thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got to say.
Okay. Gretchen, describe. What do you get from this?
I got clarity and I got another list to look at, to go over, to fill out and refer back to when I forget them and or when I near miss forget them. And might be working something out and say, where is that here? Because I don't want to mess this up. And so they appear to come from old, original works. You know, I haven't researched where they came from, but I like the word principles, and principles are usually laws of just, you know, things you recognize as they are. So go with them. And so they really give me, they fulfill what I lack and help me to diminish what I overuse. So helpful. I've enjoyed it.
Well, I'm really kind of stuck on gratitude, because I've had a lot of support of late, and all of it has been really given, and I appreciate that.
Well, let them know. Everybody get a chance?
Simple and straightforward.
I like what Danae said. I think that these principles can help you navigate life more easily. And so you can see more great and wonderful things. I like them. Thank you.
Okay. What time do we have up there?
It's 6:01. No, 6:04. Just kidding.
We're done. Where we're going is, while you guys are continuing doing your outlines, we're going to be doing lesser heavenly circulation, the microcosmic orbit. We're going to be doing that as a meditation. We're going to be doing that as a invocation, and we're going to put it together in our qigong systems. So, with regards to that circulation, the ren and the du, we also have the earthly circulation that circulates in the lower dantian. And then we have the 8 extra meridians that circulate to basically structure, hold the body together. And then we have the 12 meridians for managing the energies of the organs. And when you look at those all together, that's the complex of the body. Any questions? Comments? Insights?
I had a question.
Sure.
It was from chapter 2, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I had a hard time wrapping my head around the type of spirit that he called the consciousness of potentials. Yi.
Yi. Yi.
Yi.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you would tell me your thoughts on that, because I couldn't really figure out what they meant by that.
Yi comes out specifically in Xingyi, Xingyi Chuan. The Shin is the heart. The Yi is the mind. So the Yi, the mind, the consciousness is the intention. And then form, whatever form or shape will manifest from this intention. You can't have form without intention, without function. In other words, the form only manifests for a purpose, for a reason. The reason form manifests is what we call Yi, consciousness. Now, we have individual consciousness, we have collective consciousness, and then we have universal consciousness. So there's the individual Yi, intent. Young man, what are your intentions with my daughter? Okay. Yi, intent, intentions. Well, sir, I'm going to take her behind the barn and and have my way with her. Wrong answer. I mean, it may be true, but wrong answer. So you have conscious intention. Then you have collective conscious, which you see me work with a lot. You know, when I address the class and I want the class to give me something, that's collective consciousness. Because no one person really knows until they allow for this to happen. And then one person to say something, then the other person, oh yeah, and then the other, oh yeah, and I like what she said, oh yeah, and then, right? And then we have this collective consciousness going around. And then there's universal consciousness or God consciousness, God intention. You know, what would Jesus Christ do? Type of a thing.
What differentiates the universal consciousness from the collective consciousness in that example?
Human beings. The collective consciousness is human beings. The universal consciousness is what manifests out of nothing, out of emptiness. That's why if you want to find something new, you have to go into emptiness, and universal consciousness will deliver to you what it is that you're intending. Another saying, right? Whenever they're contemplating something, WWW. What would Warren do? First couple of times they said it, I had to laugh. What would Warren do here?
I asked a question.
Yes.
At the time you were searching for an Oriental medicine school,
Mhm.
was there no HMX at that time?
Internet. Short answer, no. No cell phones, nope. No cell phones.
I remember, you know, what year, what decade was it, like the 70s?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, I could see you. There was a big thing going on that you didn't go into like the rest areas because that's where people got killed. You know, so there was hitchhiking began to be kind of dangerous in the 70s.
I could tell some hitchhiking stories. I used to be prejudiced until I started hitchhiking. And when I started hitchhiking, I had some of the nicest people help me out. You know, they picked me up, took me where I wanted to go. They took me home and fed me. They did, oh man, people were just so nice, you know. And it made me just reshape my whole consciousness. You know, I said, whoa. Mm-hmm.
Story about the trucker.
One trucker, he was a Vietnam vet, right? I mean, truly a redneck, truly a redneck. He said, "Where are you going?" I'm going through Tennessee. Where are you headed? Right? I say, "Well, as far as you're going this way, that's fine." So he said, "Come on, get in." But he was a Vietnam vet, so he started talking about the war and the army and this and that. And he said, "You hungry?" He said, "Okay, I'm gonna take you to my stop, the truck stop." He said, "But when we go in here," but when we go in here, you don't worry about a thing because you're with me. You're with me, right? And I'm going in there. He was. I mean, you know, it's like he had to pull off, and it was the backwoods. It was about as hillbilly as you got. But he said, "You're with me." Want to know what I did? I'm with him. I'm with him. He brought me something to eat. We got back in the truck, went on, he dropped me, I think he might have taken me to Albuquerque. Yeah, he was a good guy, real good guy. Made me rethink everything that I had been taught, right, about different people. I mean, I wasn't too far along. I was in my 20s, 20 whatever. I wasn't too far along. But still had those what I call now ridiculous prejudicial attitudes, and they're ridiculous. They're made up. I mean, sure. Is there antipathy between people? Yes, there is. But that's not all there is between people, right? There's a lot of camaraderie, brotherhood, friendship, and you just look like you need a hand. I mean, that was one of the most amazing things that I found was, people that, you look like you need help. I do. I do. I guess I did. You look like you need help. Let me help you out. All right. I was working the sign in New Mexico. I was working the sign. You know what working the sign is? We'll work for food. We'll work for food. We'll work for food. I was working the sign in New Mexico. Standing in front of a 7-Eleven. And, I stood in front of a 7-Eleven because if you work in the sign, it's good to have good parking. So right? Parking was an issue. So I was working the sign in New Mexico, and a cop, he stops, right? I said, oh, man, here we go, right? He stops. He says, you look like you need help. I said, okay. He said, come here, right? So he takes me to his car, his trunk. He pulls out 2 bags of food, right? Gives me $20 and says, here, go ahead. Right? I said, whoa. Right? Whoa. He actually was a nice guy. Turned out to be a nice guy.
Did you ever have any journeys where you were in the way of your success or getting over an obstacle?
Always. I'm the only one in my way.
How do you navigate through that?
Good question. How do you know what you don't know? How do you know what you don't know? How do you find out what you don't know? You don't know what you don't know, and so you can't find out. So this is where we call it good fortune comes in, dumb luck comes in, right? It's like some things happen that you think are beneficial to you, and you wind up saying, wow, that wasn't beneficial at all. But always in my own way. It's like you're the center of your universe. Don't let the religious tell you different. You're the center of your universe. Right? Nothing happens in your world without you. And I put it like that because, okay, I got caught up in an AA group one time, right? And what do they say in AA? I am powerless to resolve my life and my situations and my circumstances, right? And there's only one power that can help me. So I have to give up my power, my sense of self and identity, in order to overcome these obstacles, right? I took a moment and thought about that. Just a moment. And my God consciousness kicked in. Boom, right? I said, oh, no. I don't give up my power to anyone for any reason whatsoever, right? That's the devil. That's the devil. They want my soul. They want my soul. They want me to give it to them, and they don't want me to turn back. Oh, no. Now, if AA works for anybody, God bless you. Bless you. Right? But to have to give up yourself, to give up your sense of power, to give up who you are for that, that's not a good trade. It's not a good trade. I got to give up who I am to stop drinking alcohol? That seems a little bit ridiculous to me. I mean, it's just like overkill. So, what question am I involved in? Would I?
I just asked you about being in your own way, getting past obstacles, and how did you get past them, get out of
Oh yeah, I told you how I got past them. Right? I invoked my God self and never gave up. So my God self is not my addiction. It's better than alcohol. It's better than just mainline God. You'll be fine. Whatever that means to you. Whatever that means to you. Because I don't go around, proselytizing and evangelizing and compelling people to. I'm not an interventionist. That's what you want to do. Have at it, dude. Have at it. You'll learn. You learn. I did that with my son. He was like, I don't know, how old are kids when they jump up and down on couches? Yeah. Anyway, he wasn't that old. But he was jumping up and down on the couch, right? And I'm looking at him. And rather than say, don't do that, what I said was, he'll learn. So he's jumping on the couch, right? He falls, he hits his head. I felt a little guilty, just a little bit, right? But he never jumped up and down on the couch anymore. Up, lesson learned. Hey, you go through what you go through, man. Right? You go through what you go through. I had to go through it. I mean, I'm not being one of those parents who says, I had to eat my vegetables, so now you got to eat yours. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, I learned the hard way. But if it wasn't for the help of my friends, I wouldn't have gotten anywhere. And I do know that. And so, if that helps at all. Okay, that's class. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you all again next time.
Hold on, please, you guys, just for a minute. We have scheduled for Friday the lower back protocol clinic. We need people to sign up for it. So I'm going to do what Sensei Tanaka used to do when my kids go out of class. Everybody bring a friend. So we need everybody to have one person sign up. I'm going to put the sign up sheet here at Old Hop Reception. So you can text me and let me know the name of the person you're bringing. We have 4:30 open and 5:30 open. So text me, let me know the name of the person, and I'll send you the sheet.
They used to Shanghai, just hit them over the head and bring them with you.